My name is Raven Chitty. I'm an intern here at Strong Youth. I'm a student at Malloy College. In my opinion, what makes Lisa stand out the most is her personality, her demeanor. When she starts talking, she doesn't demand respect. You just automatically start listening to anything she has to say. Personally and professionally, Lisa is very caring. She's always willing to listen, whether it's a personal issue. Professionally, I've always thought she always held herself in a high standard. Lisa is well deserving of this award because she's a leader. She's always there just to guide you and just to give you direction. I've had the pleasure of witnessing Lisa wear many hats. She has many roles that she plays, all the way down from being my teacher, my academic advisor, when we have events at school, turning a rope for us, jumping double dutch. She's just all around great.
So I'm so honored at the acknowledgement as Strong Educator, and education is something that's so important to me. One, it was my way out. I grew up in public housing in the Bronx. I could have easily been any of the headlines that we see across our nation. And my parents, with the limited resources that they had, they put their girls through private school, through Catholic school, and I was the last one to go. And they just really focused on education. So it became something that I valued at a very early age because of how my parents approached it. And then I just recognized how valuable it is, not just being an educator, but specifically a social work educator. Social workers do the work that Strong does. Their founder, their executive director are social workers. They hire social workers. They have social work interns. And social work really is about the business that the organization does. Social justice, service as a primary area of focus, and our main values are very connected to the mission of the profession and Strong. So Strong Educator, I guess I'll make it work. It's something that I'm really proud to be able to receive. I could say that I'm driven by my story, in a sense, recognizing that my story isn't different from many other people who come through the doors of the offices of social workers. I'm also driven by my Christian beliefs that really just keep focus around the idea of service, the idea of there are always those that are the least of these in society that need our attention. And I'm driven in many ways by trying to work toward being able to honor a spirit of excellence. Our clients deserve it, the communities that we work in deserve it, and I think that it just models for many people what we really should be doing and how we should be doing it. So I'm driven by, I guess, a high standard, but not that I'm disconnected from the ground of what needs to happen, and I think people at all levels need a high standard. I was still working in the city for 1 year, and I realized when I started working at Malloy College in Nassau County that I was very disconnected from the world of human services. I didn't know the agencies, I didn't know the programs. I felt like a fish out of water in my human service life. And so little by little I started hearing of different organizations, and Strong always seemed to top the list in terms of the things that I was concerned about, working with youth, community development, and I just kept hearing it, not really paying too much attention. And then one time I was preparing to be on sabbatical from Malloy, and I reached out to Sergio, and we met at Ferring's Deli in Baldwin on Grand Avenue and just connected, and from there it was a love relationship with the organization. So I'm always impressed by an organization that's very grassroots oriented. So from the founding to the programming, the mission, I'm sure how you spend your money, everything is so focused on grassroots. And I remember one time there was a tragedy, I believe in Hempstead, with a young man dying because of violence. And there was a social media campaign to raise money for his funeral and to have his family get the financial support they needed to bury him. And I just thought that that's the work that organizations do that are on the ground, that have the pulse of what's needed in the community. And so I'm very much focused on how that organization, how Strong, is able to work with people on multiple levels, because the same way you do that work, you also work with county executives and you're at the table with legislators. And I think that it's such a broad mission that the organization aspires to meet that you have to have those multiple perspectives. So So I guess it's coming at a time in my life where I guess I could say I'm mid-career, and there's a lot of recognition for some of the things that I've involved myself in. It's very humbling for me, but it also just recognizes that it's part of my journey. And if you're doing your works and doing your works well, that there should be some noticing of what you're doing. And so it means a lot to me just to be noticed by people who I respect so much, by the work that I see that I'm not actively engaged in, but that I support just by way of mission in any way that I could support it. So it means a lot to me to be recognized by this particular organization because of the work that you all do. Everything that I just said and then some, but really focusing on the fact that there's this ground-up approach that the organization takes to the services that they deliver, the fact that funding is not forever, so even though you may get a lot of grants and donations and other support, that there's always a need. Unfortunately, there's always a crisis in our society, especially as it relates to gun violence and gang violence and the need for prevention. So I think the societal note of the day really speaks to why strong is needed. And so we want people to invest their time, we want people to invest their talents, but we also want people to invest their treasures and bring some money to the organization so that they can continue this good work.